Hi, Jay Cermak here, Director of Agent Services and Trainer Extraordinaire for Keller Williams Realty Professionals, Fort Lauderdale. And today's class is all about the KW website powered by Placester. This class is about the setting it up of the website. So we're going to go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is go to mykw.kw.com, and then under Technology, you will find KW websites. For those watching at home on KW Connect, if you'd like a handout that I have for this, feel free to email me at j.cermak@kw.com. Once you're here under the website, you're going to go to my website in the middle. This is going to take you to the back end of the KW website powered by Placester for you to kind of set up everything. The goal of today's class is just to make sure it's all set up properly, show you how you can customize your website. Notice in my preview I'm using blue instead of the standard red you might see. There's a couple different themes you can choose between, and I'll show you which theme I think works best. You can choose whichever one you want. There's no wrong answer. So under Edit Site is going to take us into the back end of our website. So everything we're covering today is really going to be under Site Settings. We're going to kind of go through all these little options here. Then from there, the advanced class that I just did yesterday, I have a video for it as well, is where we can go to add additional pages, blog posts, agents, testimonials, areas. It's how to keep growing the content. So think of this website as a living, breathing document, and over time, you're just going to keep growing it and adding to it, updating it, and adding kind of great content to it. So the first thing we always want to do is start setting it up by coming to listings and making sure our website has listings. So IDX Integration is where we can basically tell it to make sure that it's got our MLS data in here. So the default will be KWLS, which just means Keller Williams Listing System, and that's all Keller Williams listings throughout the country. However, that's not going to be relevant if they're looking at Fort Lauderdale and only seeing our listings when there's a lot more listed. So you want to make sure you've got your board selected. You said you were talking to Miami. I think I put it in as Miami. So it might say Miami here, or in my case, Fort Lauderdale Realtors. And then you just make sure the region is set correctly for Florida or wherever, whoever's watching this video, wherever they're located. Just make sure you have that as selected. And then what it does is it instantly puts all of the MLS listings in that board onto the website. So you don't have to worry about adding them. They're just going to be there instantly. The second you add a new listing in the board of realtors, whoever adds it, any company, doesn't matter if it's Keller Williams or not, it'll automatically be on the website. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save here. So that just instantly makes it so that my website now will have all the listings with my board. The one downside currently is it's only one MLS. So in Florida, we've got 5 actual MLSs, 3 main ones, the Miami board, Fort Lauderdale board, and then Palm Beach are the main ones there. So currently, whichever board you belong to, so if you join the Miami board, you'll have all the Miami listings, which will begin with an A. I'm with the Fort Lauderdale board, so I have all the F listings. It does not let you add more than one MLS right now. It's coming. It's a soon-to-be feature. So it just means your website's only going to have all the listings in the Miami MLS, not if I list one in Fort Lauderdale, you wouldn't see it on your website. It's coming eventually. It's the ability to have different IDX feeds, Internet Data Exchange feeds on your website, so that you can have all the data from the Fort Lauderdale board, Palm Beach board, Miami board on your website, but currently, Placester only supports one MLS.
So if you list let's say you list a house in Wilton Manor right here, it will not show on my site?
It'll be on your website because it'll be within your MLS. So it's not about location geographically. It means whatever agents are in the Miami MLS who input a listing, you'll see all the listings in South Florida that are in the Miami MLS. So everyone in those all begin with the letter A at the beginning of the MLS number. Fort Lauderdale board, though, when they input their listing in all in South Florida, will begin with an F. So you won't see the F listings, and you won't see the R listings from Palm Beach. You'll only see A listings on your website. So you'll see all of yours if you're in your board and all the people who are in the Miami board. It's one of the drawbacks. Most people watching this video now are going to be with one MLS and don't have to worry about this. In South Florida, unfortunately, we have more than one, and that's why it's a bigger issue for us for this website. At the end of the day, I don't think it matters because the goal of the website isn't to sell a house. The goal of the website is to make sure that I've got some content there and that somebody asks me for help, raises their hand, says, I need help finding a home. I'm not finding what I'm looking for on the website. And the MLS is what's going to actually sell the house by me having a conversation and sending them directly what they're looking for in all the boards. So that's really what's going to sell it. Yeah.
Okay, in other words, I joined Miami
Mhm.
and I'm looking for a house for a client in Boca.
Yeah.
And I could go to my KW web.
You'll go into the MLS and see it. You'll see all the MLS listings. So the difference is our website sees what we call IDX Internet Data Exchange feeds, which is just access to your board only. When you go into the MLS, though, you'll see everything, all of them. You won't have an issue. That's why I always say that that's what matters. That's what you're going to set an auto alert to say, here's the newest home on the market, and that they get updated about it. However, I want my website to have some stuff on it so when they come here, they contact me. I found a couple homes. I didn't see exactly what I was looking for. Can you help me? That's the goal. So I just wanted to specify, there's a lot of people that ask that to say, hey, if I start noticing I don't have all the listings on my website, it's okay because the MLS is going to have all the listings. So global filters we don't have to worry about. This is where you can tell it, I only want to show single family homes. I only want to show this. To me, if they're on your website, let them search however they want to search. You can always get a referral fee if they find something. If they find a commercial deal, that's okay. I'll refer it out to the commercial agent. Or if they find a home in Miami that I don't want to go down to Miami, that's okay. I can refer it out. So I never want to exclude anything from my website. So you can just leave global filters alone. Now, featured listings will be important because on the website itself, the format is going to be a search bar up above, and then down below it'll have 4 little homes that are kind of like a preview of homes to get people to click on it. The challenge, and I'll show you my website. Here's the featured properties. The challenge is if you don't set this as a setting, it's going to be the highest listing in your entire MLS to the lowest listing in your MLS. So for mine right now, if I didn't have a setting for featured listings, it would be a $30 million home in Fort Lauderdale.
That's what came up. I'm looking at.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little high. So the good news is we can fix that. You'd click on featured listings. And what you can do here is now you can narrow it down. So you may not have all this criteria. Don't worry about it. What I decided is if you have listings, it should be your MLS ID in here so that it shows your listings first. It doesn't choose one or the other. Now, I thought it'd be great to advertise our office listings here on featured. And since my focus was primarily Fort Lauderdale for my website, I chose to say City of Fort Lauderdale. Don't worry about minimum price because it'll never reach minimum price. Maximum price will say what's the highest I want on here and have it go backwards from there. So I try to keep it around a medium price of $500,000 for my area. If it's a $20 million home, someone will click on it out of curiosity, but it's not a realistic home they're going to purchase typically. This is a more realistic price range that people are looking for homes $500,000 or less. Think about your price range in your area. You get to choose it, and you can change it at any time. So if it's too high, too low, you just change it there. If you're with the Miami board, your office ID is different. So for the Fort Lauderdale board, my office ID for this office is KWRP01. The one in the Miami board is KWPF01. That's just if you want the Fort Lauderdale listings for this office or whatever listings you want. If you want the office listing to show up, to say we have listings, you can use the office code or you can leave it all blank.
If you want both of them, no.
You don't get to do both.
One.
Yeah, it's just going to be the one. So if you were to look up your license in the Miami board, you're going to see that it is the office ID is going to show you what broker code you belong to, and it'll show all the listings in your office on there.
So the office ID I need to put in is this one.
No, yours will be KWPF. P is in Paul, F is in Frank, 01. This is the one for the Fort Lauderdale board. Now, the nice thing is you may not have this when you first come in here, and that's okay. You can come to add search criteria here and choose from any of these fields. So the ones that I like to do is making sure I've got office ID if you want that, it's at the bottom. If you're going to do it as your own agent ID to say my MLS ID, I would choose agent ID and ignore all the other details because I just want to show any of my listings as featured. I don't have listings currently, so I'm not going to choose agent ID, I chose office ID. One of the tricks I found also was property type. Make sure you choose property type. Because the property type is by default going to be everything. Commercial homes, rentals, everything in that price range. And if you're going to be working specifically on single family homes or condos or something along that line, I would just recommend you choose one. My focus is single family homes in Fort Lauderdale, so that's why I clicked single family homes. If you wanted to be condos as well, Just check those two. You don't need everything in the list. It doesn't rotate through. It's just going to show you 4 homes on the website. You just want it to be something someone's likely to click on.
Do we do rentals in the office?
We do rentals, yes. Yep, we can do rentals as well. So if you want those, but typically that's not what I want featured on my home page. Unless I have a rental myself, I want it to be, here's what I think you might like buying, and then feel free to search around and look what you're looking for. So I took the 8,400 listings that were in here and brought it down to 8 that met my criteria. And then you just click save. By doing it this way, the listings will always be updated on my website. So on my website, under featured listings, these are from $500,000 down, listings in this office in Fort Lauderdale, and I've got 4 good-looking homes on the website. That way, if someone came to my website and instead of searching, we're scrolling around, they can just click on one. It's just meant to entice them instead of having a nice, really expensive home on the front.
Say this house gets sold, does it come off the listing?
Correct. It'll automatically come off. So since we did it under the filtered, it's going to automatically look for it, and then the next one will just slide into spot. It doesn't rotate through, but if the 425 one fell off, then another one will come in its place. And it will keep itself updating at all times.
Do you set up the number of listings that you want?
You don't get a choice in this matter. If you use the Madison theme, which we can show you the other themes as well, but I think they get too many properties. Like there's some themes that will do like 20 properties on your homepage, and mobile-wise on my phone, I'm not going to scroll through 20 properties.
So when somebody goes through this, all this is like the first 4.
Correct. They're just going to see 4 to get them to say, hey, click here, view more listings, or click on one of these, and then they can still do a search. The goal is to entice them to actually look at a listing, and maybe they'll see something they like right away. Okay, so that was the featured listings area. Don't have to worry about open houses. That's a pro feature to create a separate website for every listing. For now, I don't need a separate listing website. I just pull my listing from the website and I share it to social media if I have an open house or something going on. Theme selection. This is where we choose what theme we're using. So I'm using the Madison theme. It's typically red. I'll switch it so you can see. Typically, this is what the Madison theme looks like when everyone gets here. It's a theme specific to Keller Williams. It's got the Keller Williams red, and the difference is it could be a solid banner at the top, or you can choose a white banner, which is what I chose, a white one with just an accent color. So it's not a whole lot of customization to this. I like the Madison template because it is mobile friendly, and it makes my logo the most important graphic. If I choose one of the other templates, my graphic goes away the second I choose them, and if I'm in mobile version, it's just text at the top. And I wanted to make sure my graphic was the most important thing that I saw. So something to keep in mind. There are other themes here, and you can switch them at any time. I have not found Madison Metro Mode to work. People usually chose it because they liked that it was a white banner at the top. I would say still choose Madison Normal and just click the white checkbox down below. They have Madison Metro. We have Plymouth. This is another little template. There's Fremont. There's a couple other ones. What I've been finding is a lot of the classes I see taught on this focus on these versions because they think they look great on a desktop. The reality is I would say at least 90% of your clients are not on a desktop computer looking at your website. They're getting your website because they saw it on social media or they found it on their phone. It's how the consumers tend to be searching nowadays. So the mobile version, here's my website. If I shrink this down to mobile version, notice my graphic is the most important thing that happens. If I switch the theme to one of the others, then it will be whatever text I have, which could be okay, yet it's not going to be a graphic that they're going to see. They'd have to click the little 3 lines to see more information. That's why I lean towards the Madison theme. Yep. And you can always change it at any time. It's quick and easy to change it and then change it back if you don't like it. So I went with blue because I wanted to make sure my buttons and icons kind of went with my logo. It's limited on the colors. You just choose one of these colors, and that's what you get, and then either a solid banner here or a white banner with a hint of color. In this is also the ability to put text over your search bar. So there's always a search bar here in the middle of the screen, and then you can put a text over it. So I just did search Fort Lauderdale homes for sale. You could say find your dream home, find homes for sale, whatever text you want to write, you can put that in there. It just basically puts it right above your search bar. So I did search Fort Lauderdale homes for sale. I will point out, if we switch this to mobile version, it doesn't matter. No, it does matter. Sorry, the text does say. So it's just your ability to put some kind of text over it. Search homes for sale, find your dream home, anything you want to write.
So on the mobile version, you don't see all the menus of the.
No, they're there. They're just going to be under the 3 lines to the right. 3 line here, and then all the menu items are still there. It just works differently. That's why I felt a lot of the other templates, people were focusing on them because they look like, hey, there's a little call to action and there's a cool feature. And then the second it went to mobile version, it did not look as good.
And those we have to set them up ourselves, or are they already there, like market?
A lot of that you're going to have to set up yourself. You're going to have just a couple templates initially, pages-wise, and then you can start creating those. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save, or actually I didn't change anything, so I'm not going to save this. That's how easy it is to change your theme. If you didn't like it, so if I wanted to switch this to the solid banner instead, I check one little box to make a change, hit save here, and if I refresh my screen, it'll automatically switch out the text. So you can switch the theme at any time to see what it looks like, and if you don't like it, come back to theme selection and switch it back to something else. Test them out. The cool thing is you can at least choose something different if you want to look different than everybody else. I feel mine already looks different than everyone else's, so I'm happy with my site. The main part of the selection, though, the biggest complaint I got from people was if you were here under the red, they thought this was the main photo. You could customize these pictures. Anything that's here in the background, those photos can be customized. That's what I'm going to show you now. Yeah, because that's what you'd want to do. To me, the most important thing is going to be a graphic. By default, it's going to be the Keller Williams logo. And then I would recommend either getting one created or keeping it the Keller Williams logo. And then slideshow is what lets you choose how to change out these images here. That's really the customization because that shows the area and lifestyles. The default is this lovely mountain. Since most of the US is in mountain area, which is not true, this is not really the main default template you probably want to have for your website. I've looked at all these in South Florida. This is not a typical home in South Florida. That's not a typical home in South Florida, and neither is this. So the only one that works if you choose one of these pre-built ones is interiors because it's just inside a home and it's more likely to be realistic. What I recommend, though, that we all do is come up to the top and create your own slideshow. It's literally just 5 photos that you choose to add. I already did that for mine, so I'll go into mine and show you. I went ahead and did this. So I bought this image here from a website called Shutterstock. I bought this one as well, and then I took the others. I took this at Lauderdale by the Sea. I took this downtown Las Olas when I was touring homes. And then this was taken at Bayview Drive down the street. I kind of feel that these should be 3 area shots and maybe 2 homes. Your website has nothing but listings on it, so you don't really need to keep showing homes, but you want to show something about the lifestyle and where you are. In South Florida, we have a lot of beautiful things to look at. If you're in another area, then choose the homes, choose a landmark, something that works for your branding. Mine was all about Fort Lauderdale, so it made sense that everything I had pictures of was that area and those kind of home styles. That's what's really going to make your site stand out, to say, here's your text, here's your logo up above, and then this is going to keep changing itself and just as its own little slideshow of 5 photos, any photos that you want. So you don't need to go out and buy them if you don't want to. We have beautiful things here. Take a picture of the beach, or if you don't want to be oceanfront, if you want to be golf course, whatever it is. That's really your main ability to me to customize the site. Theme and slideshow. So the next will be certifications. If you have certifications, great, because we are already with the National Association of Realtors, then we're always going to have 2. Equal housing opportunity, because we believe in equal housing, and National Association of Realtors. It's not every certification that ever existed, but it's a couple of them here. And if you check any of these and hit save, it adds them to the bottom of your website, right here. That's all it's doing. So if you start getting certifications down the line, great. I think because we're already all members of the Board of Realtors to be with Keller Williams, and equal housing is an important thing we should all be talking about, those are the two that are easiest to check. So just check the two, click save. They're working on getting more certifications in there and a lot of the Keller Williams ones that we have, but for now, it's just a little list. Social networks, following the line, is where you're going to come in and put your social media. It's okay if you don't have any, it won't look bad. It basically adds a social media icon to the top of your website here, all the way up at the top, and it also adds it all the way at the bottom to the lower right. If you don't have any, it's just blank. I think these should be business pages if you're going to do that, something for real estate. It shouldn't be your personal page unless you're ready to tell the world to come like my personal page. It should be something. So these are my business pages for all of these social medias. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram, any account that you have, you'd put here. And then you just click save. The nice thing is it adds the icons automatically to your site. All you need is the username for those. If you choose the Madison form, you don't get to change your form. So search form is going to be this automatic auto search. If they start typing something in this screen, if I start looking up Fort Lauderdale, notice it gives me some little autofills to give me a suggestion. I can literally type out like this: Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 2-bedroom between a price range. It's a smart search bar that people are kind of familiar with if they use Zillow or any of those others. So I could say Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Maybe I want a $500,000 to $550,000 home, and hit search. It's smart enough to read what I just wrote and give me a search that meets all that search criteria here. So that's the default one. For this theme, it works best because if you choose one of the other themes, you can have all the little drop downs for bedrooms and baths and everything else. But it takes up a lot of real estate, especially on a mobile phone.
So the Madison thing.
Yeah. The Madison theme, it will already be set. You don't have to come to search form. It's automatically that form. If you choose one of the other themes, then you come to search form. It'll let you choose different fields. I find they look fine on the desktop, but when I went to my mobile phone, it literally took up like half the screen on the phone or more for the criteria. So I don't think it was as mobile friendly of a search field. Menu is your ability to kind of rearrange the menu order of everything. So I have obviously a lot more pages than you do right now, and as you start adding them, you can come into the menu at any time and rearrange the order. So if you want to add a page or redo it, one of the things I changed right away was the default in the system is to say listing search. And I think listing search is a real estate term, not a consumer term. I don't think I go out there as a consumer looking to buy a house saying, I hope I can find a listing today. We say, I hope I can find a home today. So I changed the label of that to say home search. That way, when people are on my website, you can say home search, house search, search for a home, whatever you want to write. It's your ability to customize what the menu title is in this view. That's one way. You can also rearrange your menus. So I have a lot of items here. If I wanted to rearrange them, I just literally click and rearrange them by moving them around, and then I just drop it. If I want maybe my home menu down here, it rearranges the order of the menu. I'm going to move it, put it all back. Move them home up to the top. You can do drop downs too. It's more of an advanced field as you start adding more pages. To do a drop down, you basically just move your field on top of one of these boxes, and it will drop it as an indent a little bit to the right. That makes it on your home page an actual drop down menu. So the menu stuff is kind of fun. You can even add things down here, like I added my mobile app. So if you come to where it says add and scroll all the way to the bottom of the list, it'll show you every page you've ever created, and then there's a custom URL. This is where I can tell it to add whatever website I want. So in my case, I did that for my mobile app. I added mobile app. That's what I called it. My label was for the menu. My URL was the website for my app. And then for tooltip, I just put over there like search homes for sale on the go on my mobile phone.
Wait a minute. You have two websites, one for the app and one for the
The app has its own web address for it to pull up. If they're on their phone, it would open up the app store for them. I'll get you that link when we meet tomorrow. So that way you'll have that to put in there. But that's a way that you can make this an item up above. So if they're on their phone and they want to get my mobile app instead of the website, they could download the mobile app. And there is a trick because the mobile app will have all 3 boards on it, whereas this website only has the one. So if they're going to be on their mobile phone, it wouldn't be a bad tool. The whole goal is if they're using my website or they're using my mobile app, I'm staying top of mind. That's all that matters. The MLS is still the main way I'm going to be sending them stuff. So I'm not going to save that, but if you added those menu items, you can rearrange them in any way you want and add stuff. The most important thing of this whole site, besides your theme and slideshow, site info. Site info is where you tell it who you are, what your branding is, what your logos are, everything about you. So if you have a brand name, then you would want to put one in. Since my logo has the brand name of the J Team on it, I didn't need to have a brand name of J Team again. It's already there in the logo. If you don't have one or you're not sure what your branding is going to be yet, I recommend it should be your name, Realtor. That way it's simple for now. You're telling people who you are and what you do, real estate agent. If you have a tagline, like I use the one, we understand the value of you. It could be something like love where you live. It's really just a line to put anything that you want in there. If you don't have one and you're still figuring out your branding, I think the best one will be like South Florida real estate or area real estate, whatever you're doing, because that way your branding will say who you are and your tagline will say what you do if you haven't figured it out yet. Upload logo. This is where you can change to a different logo. So the default logo for everybody will be at the bottom, will be this simple Keller Williams logo. If you're with a different office or a market center here, you can put in your office number. We're not in here yet. But if you have one with the logos, then you can choose one of these other logos. The difference is if you use a white background, you'd want to choose the solid gray logos. If you use a solid banner background, then you want to choose one of the white ones.
Is this Realty Professionals?
We're Realty Professionals Fort Lauderdale. We have a logo of our own. It's just not in this list. It's in our intranet, and I'll show you where we can get those tomorrow. For now, I already had a logo design that I put on here, so I chose to upload one from my computer, and I added it already. Make sure you check the box for site header. That way it adds it. If I uncheck it, then it will disappear. This text will disappear. So that's what's adding the text. If it's not checked, it'll be blank up there and just show the Keller Williams logo. So make sure you check it if you're going to put in a brand name and tagline. And display logo, you do want the logo to show up, so you'd want to make sure that that's checked as well. Don't worry about favicon. You can change it if you want to. A favicon is really just this little icon up here by the tab. So see, like on my KW, it's got a little KW. Placester has this little, I don't know, it looks like a triangle on it. I used my same logo just for visualization. It matched. It's just going to be a square shape that will put an icon if anyone comes to a website. So it's a cool thing to do. You don't have to do it. If you want to, you can get a simple KW one or something else. That's what a favicon is. Then contact information. This should be where you put your name. I'd still put your title in case someone was just looking in the menu items. They may not see my brand name. I want to make sure that it says who I am and what I do as well. So Jay Cermak Realtor. Put in your email address, how they're going to contact you, and then your phone number. Make sure your phone number is split up with either a dash or a period, because if it's just numbers all together, it's hard for your eye to kind of split that up.
On the mobile version, you can just click on this.
Yes. If I shrink mine down from the mobile version, it'll pull it up here, but they're still there.
Okay, so they could just click on it and you get down.
Correct. If they click the email me, it won't show the email address. It opens up the mail program on their phone automatically. And if they hit the phone number here, it'll actually call the person. It'll dial their phone, which is nice. And see how now, if I'm in this view, my logo's over here, people wouldn't know what I do. So that's why I added my title up above, Jay Cermak Realtor. And then your photo. When you add a photo, and even if you don't add a photo, it won't look bad. It doesn't, like the site doesn't say you're missing a photo. You want to make sure you have a photo. The trick though is, notice my photo is a circle. So make sure your photo is cut to a square so that it doesn't cut off your hair or your head. I had people who had the portrait picture and then all of a sudden they were headless. So make sure it's cropped to a square version of your photo. Upload it here from your computer and then it'll fit into the circle perfectly. It shows your picture up above and it also shows your picture down below. And every time you use a contact form, it's going to have a photo next to it, which is great. It's an opportunity for people to see you on your website. Office information. Now, for us in Florida, the only legal requirement is that our company name is our legal name. So in this office, it's Keller Williams Realty Professionals. If you're somewhere else, it would be whatever your company name is. And then in this state of Florida, we do not have to put the broker's email address or the broker's phone number. Other states, you may have to, so check with your local states if you're watching this on KW Connect. For us, it could be my email address and my phone number. What this is doing is at the bottom of the website, it's adding this information down here to say who I am and what I do. Some states were requiring that this information right here would be the broker's name, email address, and phone number, and that this was the office information. Fortunately for us in the state of Florida, we don't have to do that. So the only requirement is that this says Keller Williams Realty Professionals, and the rest of this could be our office address, my phone number, my email address. And then every page that we do, especially this website, is going to have what we call SEO, the search engine optimization. And it's going to be comprised of a meta title and a meta description. The simplest way to put that is it's simply Google. What would Google identify your site as? So here's a Google search. I'll say the J Team Keller Williams. A meta title is this, right here in blue. So how are you labeling yourself? The J Team Keller Williams Realty Professionals is how I've been branding it so that they know I'm the J Team and that I'm with Keller Williams Realty Professionals. So if you're doing this as yourself, you would put your name, realtor, with Keller Williams Realty Professionals in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Your title is going to kind of adapt itself over time. It's just what are you going to tell Google the title of the website is or the web page is, because you're going to see this search engine optimization on every page that you create. And then the description should include what is this website about. Since this is the one for the main website, I want to make sure it's got my name there. Jay Cermak is a top Fort Lauderdale real estate agent with the J Team at Keller Williams Realty Professionals, Mr. Professionals, helping clients buy or sell homes in the Fort Lauderdale area, and here's a phone number. It's probably a little long for what it needs to be, because if you notice on Google, it kind of shows you about 155 characters, then it goes ... So sometimes there's a lot of articles on the best meta descriptions to write. So you might want to put your phone number at the beginning of it or something like I did here. My phone number is right at the beginning, so that way people can see how to call me quickly. You're basically just telling Google who you are and what the site's about. So that's it for site info. It's the most important. So then you click Save. And that's going to program your logo up above if you have one, or if it's going to be your Keller Williams logo here. Your photo in the right. If your photo is missing, it'll just be blank. It'll just be the text. There are some people who don't want their photo on the website. That's okay. It's not required. I put that photo there. Now the last parts of this site here are lead capture. There's different beliefs on what this should be, and the free version of our site, or the version we have currently without paying for a new version, the default is what we call passive capture leads. Means I'm not forcing you to register on my website, look as many pages as you want, and feel free to contact me. This website, I think, is really one that I should be giving as much content as possible, because if they find it valuable, people will contact me directly, and it'll be a good lead. If I force them to look at a page like the second they see something and sign up now, and I haven't built that trust yet, they're going to just go somewhere else. Unfortunately, right now in the free version, it's either passive, like I just said, or aggressive, means look at one page and now I need to get you to register. So that's why I feel this version is a little too aggressive. Unless you're going to use this website purely for lead capturing people you don't know and you don't care about it, great, then force them to register to see any data. Otherwise, passively captured is the default. You don't have to do anything else to it. It's already there by default. And then there's lead forwarding. Lead forwarding is your ability that by default, these leads, anyone who signs up on your website or emails you on the website, it's going to send you an email to the email you tell the system. What you can do for lead forwarding is you can actually put in like an admin's email address or some other email address. Now, right now, if a lead fills out on my website, it'll automatically go into the eEdge database. It's copying it over. So I don't need to copy myself on it, but just to be on the safe side, I threw my email address in there as well, just to make sure I get an email telling me John Smith signed on your website and here's what he's asking for. It's your ability to add more than one email address if you want other people to be notified about it, or if you have a different CRM or database that has a different email address, then put it in there so that it gets notified as well as you. I'm going to save those. Now, custom domain, I'm going to recommend you probably let me here in the office. I will update it for you. The default custom domain is going to be your domain. Usually it's your username or something .kw.com. If I didn't have a custom domain here, you would see to the right there is the ability to customize it and change this site address. So you can change it, but at the end of the day, it's .kw.com. So Keller Williams is the one getting all the Google SEO juice and the one that is going to get all the rankings and stuff within Google. If you want to start getting that ranking and stuff, you want to make sure you buy a custom domain of any kind. Yourname.com, I have jsalesfortlauderdale.com, and then you can program this address to be your website. So on my website, if I come here, notice it's jsalesfortlauderdale.com, and any page I go to keeps the jsalesfortlauderdale.com at the top, and then it adds / whatever else. The good news is Google sees this as a legitimate site, and all of these pages are indexed under my website. I will warn you, if you try to do it yourself, there are step-by-step instructions over here. It's really 2 simple settings in GoDaddy or Google Domains. However, a lot of people have challenges with it. So if you do, let me know. I'm happy to set it up for you here in this office. It's not hard. I've just been in there enough times that I can easily change it.
So I don't need to buy like, let's say, my name, .kw.com. I don't need to buy
Not that one. You would just be able to buy your own site of any kind. So it could be your name. If you're going to buy one, I would recommend Google Domains instead of GoDaddy. I think people are used to GoDaddy because it's the one we know, and I have a lot of issues with GoDaddy. So Google now has their own Google Domains. It's only $12 for the year with privacy, and just look for a site that you want. So if it was just my name, or if it was Jay Sells Florida, and it will tell you if the site's available or not. So let's see if this one's available. And you can have more than one. I mean, you're only going to program the site with one, but I have multiple domains I use for different marketing pieces. So I could see jsalesfortlauderdale.com is not available, sad face, but I can buy one of these others. So whatever it is you're going to buy, I'll just say Fort Lauderdale, home search or something like that. Let's see if that's available. Nope. But if it was, at the end of the day, most of these are just $12 for the whole year. It gives you privacy, so it's a flat rate up front. I find GoDaddy gives me a discount at the beginning and then jacks up the prices, and I'm paying $60, $70 a year later for a product that doesn't even work half the time. Yeah, and I can even get an email address to these email here, so it's an actual Gmail account, and it's $5 a month. So it's not bad if you want an actual email address associated with it. I now have info@thejteamfl.com to use for real estate, because that's the other domain I have for this. But that would be what I'd recommend. Just buy one from there, and then I can help you set it up on the website. For now, you can give whatever is listed here out to people if you want, but you want to start thinking about what you want your website name to be. And then we can program it. You don't really have to worry about the other stuff. I can cover this more in the advanced class, but you can track things with Google, and you can track things with Facebook Pixel. So if you have a Google account, you can add a tracking ID here. It gives you the Google Analytics, which you can get lost in for days. So that can be added, and then they've added the feature now for Facebook Pixel. Facebook Pixel is basically a code Facebook gives you for Facebook ads, and then it puts it on your website and will track who's been to your website. And you can run an ad to say, only show this ad to people who've been on my website. It's a cool feature, and especially with the new Facebook tool coming for Keller Williams in June, it'll be really neat. But for now, it's there if you want to use it. I haven't played with it yet. I've run Facebook ads. I just haven't done them where I'm targeting people who've been on my website.
I took this course with this other guy here last week. He said something's going to be out by August for the summer. Is that the KW Connect?
KW Connect is already out. KW Command is the new system that's coming out in August. Command is going to be the platform that you're going to go into to see all your clients' information and do all your business from there. KW Command is the earning side of our business, and KW Connect is the learning side of our business.
So does it make sense to start with that now?
It's not out yet, so it's on its way out. You're just going to start with everything we have. The eEdge database that we're going to set up tomorrow will automatically transfer into the new one. Yep, it's still here, and it's not going to be like instantly all 155,000 people have access to KW Command in August. It's going to slowly roll out. Everything else up above,
That's nationwide, not just Florida.
yeah, that'll be nationwide. Everything else here is more in the advanced stuff, your ability to add as many pages as you want. I would recommend you come to Pages just to see. You'll have the first couple already here. There's an About page for you. I'd recommend you edit that and add your own information. The default About page is nicely written, but it's generic text that all Keller Williams has. So you'd want to put a little bit about who you are, what you do, what your mission, vision statements are about you. There's a couple blogs that are already written, so you can come in here to blog posts. I have been blogging a lot, so your blogs, let's get to the end, will be these first couple. Where are they?
Well, if you see a blog, can you copy it? I mean, can you write it into your blog?
Here will be the first few blogs. Yeah, you can come in and write as many blogs as you want. I get.
Let's say I like this one, dealing with financing. I took like 2, 3, 5 minutes of reading it, and I said, well, you know what, I kind of like that.
Yeah, it could be shared on your site. What I'd recommend is if you're going to use someone else's blog or someone from there, write an opinion about it. Hey, I think this is a great article because of XYZ, and then say where you got it from, and then copy some of the content there. The master bloggers tell us that it shouldn't be all of that article. It should be like a fraction of it, and then give them a link to that one, and then put stuff in there. That way you're putting something in. Now, there's a couple already here, like relocating to, this will say the big city. I edited this one to say relocating to Fort Lauderdale. That way it's something local if they're looking in the blog. So all of us will have 5 original written blogs, and then you can just customize those. So while you're testing out the site, these are the easiest one. That's kind of your homework. Fix your About page. Come to the blog post. Make sure they're updated with your information in the blog, because the blog doesn't say anything more than how to prepare to sell, and then doesn't have like call me today. Add that in there. Add call me today, here's my phone number, or if you're ready to buy or sell, some text along the way. And some basic pages again. Home search would be listing search. I just renamed it to home search. And then everything else I sort of added over time. Home values, I did a 4th of July article, neighborhoods, join KW. That's really where you can kind of take your site to the next level. If you want good examples of what I've done or to see how I've taken this to the next level, feel free to come to my website, jsalesfortlauderdale.com, and look at some of these. Like home value, because there wasn't one, is really just a simple contact page, and I added some text, a little video from YouTube, and a simple contact me form at the bottom. That way they have the ability to fill it out. If you go with the pro version, they have kind of a nicer format to this, but it doesn't give them an actual price. It just says, fill out the form and I'll contact you. So I didn't feel the need to pay for it initially. I went with a free version, just made my own. Please tell us your home address and any updates you've done in the comments below. So this will at least give you some ideas of how you can take it to the next level. This has been an evolution for almost a year now. I've been adding to this site over and over again. And that's really the main part of the website. Excuse me. Now, you'll probably see here, launch site. I already have mine launched, so if this is your first time setting up your website, you want to click on launch website here, and then you can view the live site from there. And that's it to setting up the basics of the website. I'm going to stop my video. I'll answer questions here in a second. Thank you guys for everyone watching the video on KW Connect. Be sure to follow me. And if you have any questions or you want the handout that I have, feel free to email me at j.cermak@kw.com.